Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday, and welcome into Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got Game 2 of the Skyward Sword Randomizer Season 3 Tournament, Losers Bracket Round 3 between Sledge and CubeDavid. Tracking today are Vibrant Viola and Fastest the One, and commentating alongside me is Featherblade. How are you, Featherblade? Oh, I think she is muted and deafened. Hopefully she will catch that and get back in. But hi, Featherblade. We are live. How are you? You can hear me. Anyway, so this is game 2. They played game 1 yesterday. Sledge won. These two runners have raced a lot in not so much this game, but in Wind Waker. So should be an exciting race. I think yesterday was pretty close. It's a few minutes apart. First time watching these, what's the win condition? So varies, but in this season, they're going to have to beat their 3 required dungeons, get to the Master Sword, the level 5 sword, collect the harp, and 3 pieces of the Triforce. And then they will go and beat the endgame gauntlet. So they start with the level 1 sword, so they'll have to collect 4 swords, the harp, 3 Triforce pieces, and whatever they need to get those and beat the dungeons. Can you hear me, Featherblade? I cannot hear her. So hopefully we will get that worked out. But in the meantime, we are about to get underway. The runners will start at a random point in a random region. So we'll see where that is. And we'll get some hints right off the bat. And it is a vanilla spawn. And we've got Skyview, Ancient Cistern, and Fire Sanctuary. And our barren regions are Lanayru Mine, Lanayru Caves, and Thunderhead. So we don't know what region they started with, and that is a nice sword to get right off the bat from Sledge. Runners will be quite happy with that. Okay, it looks like it is a Lanayru start, which is interesting. Because Lanayru can be weird, and we are seeing Sledge do the early Zelda's room trick. What you're going to do here is you kind of jump around and hop around and go out of bounds. And you can jump and actually get into the bed in the other room. The one thing is this locks you in the room, so you have to warp to start. So normally you need the claw shots to get this, but a beetle right here could be really nice. It is a projectile. I don't know if we saw... Okay, we see their starting item is the Fire Shield Earrings, which doesn't unlock anything right now. But that beetle is big because it will allow them to check Beetle's shop. It'll give them... we'll see Sledge ring the bell up here. It's not necessarily huge, but it's something... I would say the biggest thing is being able to check Beetle's shop early. Can be really nice because... you can figure out how much money you need. And money in these settings can be a little tight sometimes, depending on what is required from Beetle's shop. So, still trying to work out the audio things. And that's a bomb bag. It's also, not bad, and harp.
Huh. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
That's all. Sorry about that.
All good. So, harp is a nice item to have early, mostly because it means you're not hunting for it for Silent Realms.
Definitely.
Kind of the biggest thing to catch you up is Sledge did early Zelda's room and got a beetle there, which could be really important. depending on, I mean, kind of depends. But the bomb bag with Lineru start is going to be really helpful because in most places that will unlock a lot of checks pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few spawns where it doesn't, but it's a useful item for Lineru.
Sledge also picking up the bomb bag.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a pretty conventional Skyloft Sky route with the vanilla start. You probably want to go grab some hints. The one thing Sledge might do that CubeDavid didn't is potentially progress the Beatrice check. Since he can check Beetle Shop, that's a good time to progress it. Just sleep tonight one time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing useful from the Potion Lady or Rhina.
Yeah, I mean, this may be a situation where the big ticket item is the bomb bag here. But I expect we're going to see the runners do the full loop and check probably all 3 hint stones before they go to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Cube going backwards into Waterfall Cave.
Yeah.
Looks like that was a good choice.
Yeah, it is faster. And a Triforce very early.
All right. Better than not finding one.
Yeah. This is definitely one where... So, I have been known to... One, I'm not great at this reverse Waterfall Cave dive, but also I tend to hunt out money early in the seeds, and sometimes there's some easy chests you can get in Waterfall Cave if you go forwards through it.
That is true.
Again, we
it just depends on how you
don't know how much
things.
money is needed. And Sledge is deciding not to check and see. Which I can't blame him. Like,
blame him.
Opening up Beetle Shop with the Beetle is kind of slow. You don't have any money to afford anything.
Yep.
We will probably see David, though, at least advance the first Peter conversation.
Well, something has a heart piece on there.
I think that was top of LMF.
Okay.
That was how I read it. That reduces the likelihood that you will need to raise it. Although, until you get that Fledge's Crystals hint, you're probably going to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that might be an early hint.
Fledge hinted early.
Yeah. Because those are the only 2 reasons you would need to raise it in a seed where LMF is not required.
Mm-hmm. Heading to Lumpy Pumpkin for another hint.
I did not see what the path to Girahim one was. He reads those hints so fast.
We'll just have to wait for Sledge to get it.
Yeah, I don't know how he catches those when he reads them that fast. Like, I read quickly, but I usually want to take a second to process a hint.
Look at the shape of the text box. I don't know. Nothing on the chandelier.
It's like...
Oh no, KF8L. That's not the point of these races. The point is to go fast.
Yeah, if you can read and process the hints that quickly, more power to you. Do hints show on the tracker or something? No, he has to read the hints himself. So
some of the players look back at their VODs to get the hints later in a slow moment.
You
can
do
how they
that.
manage that. But that is a technique that some of them use.
That was a kind of fortuitous tornado that did not knock David out of here. Upper Skyloft to Coloctos.
Okay.
I did get that one. I'm gonna bet it's the bomb bag or the I mean, it could be the sword, but it's probably the bomb bag or the harp.
Sledge didn't check that hint in Bamboo Island, did he?
I think he did. He did it before he did the Peter conversation. Yeah, I mean, it could be a beetle, but I would guess it's pretty likely that it's not. It was Upper Skyloft to Girahim 1. Okay. We're about to see it from Sledge, so. Yeah. Okay. That does not surprise me.
Sledge also pinged the Breakable Rock Island, which had nothing.
Yeah, the one by Fun Fun Island does.
Okay. CubeDavid going for Colin's item.
Yeah, I think he wanted to talk to Pero and progress. No, I actually think David might be thinking about early Zelda's Closet here too. And just grabbing the loose crystals here within Knight Academy is not the worst idea if you're doing that, but
I mean, if it's on your way, and it really kind of is.
Yeah, and early Zelda's room makes sense because he can chain this in with the item from Colin.
This is such a funny technique.
Yeah, it is. Collision is weird. You cannot do this on the HD version. Funny enough, you cannot do this roll clip. There are like very few things that the HD version, I'm not going to say patches out because I don't think it was intentional, but that it prevents you from doing.
Sledge heading into Lanayru.
That is...
Desert Gorge is our entry statue.
That is one of the worst places that you could start here in Lanayru. Although we'll probably just see him logically skip the Temple of Time, but with the items, there's actually not a ton you can logically do right now.
Gratitude crystals from Colin.
Crystals, yeah. I don't think David is going to go check Betro, but just worth noting, Betro 10 is on logic.
Well, he's already got, what, 3 loose crystals?
He got 3 loose.
Wouldn't be terribly difficult to get the other 2 and check 5 and 10. Nothing in the bell. Except money.
Yeah, I don't think he'll check 10 yet. I think he might do it if he gets nothing here in Lanayru. Even as someone that is pro loose crystals, I don't think it's a great idea. Yeah, that plume, I think he wanted because he potentially wants it for money.
Well, if you've got a valuable item just dropping into your lap.
Yeah, I mean, we have had seeds occasionally where not loose crystals, where treasure was really important for routing. Again, money can be really tight in these settings, even with wallets kind of wallet upgrades filling your wallet. And if there's a treasure right in your way, it can benefit you to grab it. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, hello's from Pero.
Yeah, and this seed is not going to do a whole lot until we get to Fire Sanctuary, but
still, it does open up a couple more checks, hypothetically. No, does it?
Yeah, I mean, that potentially could push David to maybe check Betro. All right, so there's Gratitude Crystals on the 300. Nothing on 50, nothing on the first 100. Although, if you get 50 rupees, you are going to be able to... Yeah, David is thinking about this. He's going to go bonk some trees and get that gold rupee here.
Ooh, we've got pings in the back of Fire Node.
Maybe not. Yeah, so those you're not going to be able to get until
He's got bombs. And he's
You
got a
need
distance
bellows,
activator.
though.
Oh, you need the hook
You're
beetle,
not
don't
Death
you?
Bells, Hook Beetle. Yeah, you do need the Hook Beetle to get the 2 chests in the back.
Hey, Leaf Blower Simulator. Let's see if Malara has anything useful.
I appreciate that she doesn't care that you smash her her items as you clean up. The thing about this is blowing the dust in the air is not actually going to clean the place up.
Yeah.
Which is why it gets dirty the next day.
Yeah, yeah. It all settles back down. Sledge heading into the secret passage. And picking up.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to Death Warp out of here.
Ooh, big ignits. Nice.
I don't actually know if it's faster to Death Warp, but...
Depends on where you're going, I think. If you want to explore the rest of the desert, then you may as well just walk out. If you're exploring whatever direction of desert this is. West? North? I don't know. I already
north.
did that. So.
Yeah. David is gonna get this gold rupee and check some things in Beetle's shop. Worth noting, from the very outset of a seed in these settings, the game expects you to be able to get the 300 item, the 3 100 items, and the 50 item. So you're really hoping there's nothing on that third 100 item if you're CubeDavid, because that's the one you will not be able to get yet. He'll have to get some more money.
Okay.
Justice for Levias. No thanks, Harm. You played season 2. You've had to do practice sword. Levias, have you not?
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
It is. Almost as bad as practice sword Girahim.
Oh, and there's another beetle.
That's actually quite convenient. Yeah. That will allow David to just about full clear desert, since I don't think any of the claw shot lock chests doused with anything.
I don't believe so.
All right, so
Sledge is
nothing on the 1,000, nothing on 800. So the only thing potentially in Beetle's shop that we could have is something on the 600 item, plus those crystals. That was a lot of junk. Well, no, there's the beetle, so not a lot of junk. But we don't actually have a logical way to get into Beetle's shop. So, yeah, neither beetle is actually in logic.
That's a good point.
I have a weird suspicion something is going to be on Betrow 5 or 10 at this point.
That would make a lot of sense. Cave's key on the Rock Island.
Yeah. Again, not super useful yet. Gonna need the claw shots, but
yeah,
will be useful later. And Sledge is grabbing this goddess plume that he skipped earlier, because he's thinking about this in real, or this treasure, thinking, wait, I might need some money now. Uh-oh.
The golden skulls are the same price as the goddess plumes, right?
Yeah, so the way that the treasures spawn in the rando, essentially, it's one of the 3. There's 3 levels. There's, was it common? I forget the 3 levels, but basically it's
common,
a random
rare,
one.
And something either between or ultra rare.
Yeah,
like that.
But the way it works essentially is it'll spawn a random one from each level. Super Omega basic.
Sledge also picking up the bellows. So he's really just going to go around and clean up all of the
Yep.
Skyloft checks that we've seen CubeDavid get.
Yeah, I mean the big thing potentially we might see him do Beatrice here. Maybe he'll do Patrol.
I think both of them advanced Beatrice to calling Darling.
Yeah.
Just haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, I mean you probably want to route in the conversation with Peter in daytime, but if you might just route it in with loose crystals for Betrothed 10 at this point too.
Yeah.
Rather than leaving.
Also a good option.
At this point, I think we're looking at Beatrice or Betrothed 5 or 10 are going to give us something.
Yep, I think you're right.
Like, I think that is our logic. It's one of those 3 checks. Because we've seen everything else that is in logic right now.
Right.
Not that Desert had much, but
okay. That's where the spiral charge was. Not
was one of those the chest by Lightning Node? I think it was. So I think we're going to see David bit warp to get that out of logic.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing now. Is he is damaging down? Because I think that doused. So, yeah.
And is that instead of doing the break slide to skip the Temple of Time?
Yeah. So he will go around the other order. This is if you don't feel good at the break slide. Yeah, I don't know if I also don't know how comfortable he is with the break slide.
Oh, maybe he's just doing backward mine.
No, mine was into dead, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe he doesn't feel comfortable with the break slide, but I also thought that chest pinged. And if that did, this is a check you can get out of logic. As David.
Sledge is heading back to Skyloft.
Yeah, this has to be for Pero, and then Sledge is probably going to check Beetle Shop. But yeah, so what Cube is about to do here is what's called a bit warp. Essentially, you are tricking the game into thinking that you are loading your file in a different position than where you actually saved. As my friend Pix would call it, it's just gaslighting the game. Essentially, the way this works is there's a brief moment after you load your file before it's fully loaded where you can kind of save something in this back in time state and it will change some data. And in this case, it changes the coordinates of the bird statue to where they are in Skyloft. And that chest did have something.
Oh,
sword.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Now that he's on this side, he should be able to reach the shortcut chest too.
Yeah. I suspect... I just have a suspicion that claw shots are going to be the item on either Beatrice or the early Betrothed item. Although that doesn't actually... That wouldn't do much, because that... It's got to be something else, and claw shots have to be later.
All right. Sledge picking up his second illogical beetle.
Okay. Again, now getting curious when the runners are going to do Beatrice and Betrothed. Claw shots would put both beetles in logic, and so maybe there's something in the back of Fire Node that gets us more. But this...
Sledge is heading off again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to check Fire Node here, and makes a lot of sense in his position.
Let's see. Would he need to do the same bit warp that Cube did?
Only if he wants to get the chest by lightning node, which I think he's just waiting on claw shots for that. But I think he's going to check the back of fire node here.
And that's the digging mitts for Cube.
Yeah, we are still way out of logic with a lot of things at this point. The only things that are in logic right now, I mean, the bomb bag is in logic, the bellows are in logic, the harp is in logic, the spiral charge is in logic, and the crystals. Cave ski as well. But one sword is out of logic, mitts are out of logic, both beetles. Which is why I think we're looking at something either on Beatrice or Petro 5.
Yep. We'll see how long it takes them to check those.
Actually, no, Petro 10 can't be the logical item either, because... Yes, it can, because there were 5 crystals on item from Colin.
Yes.
I just think about that. I mean, right now you're really hoping you get a ruby tablet pretty soon, because you can full clear.
Oh, yeah.
You can full clear Elden Volcano.
Maybe ruby tablets on either Betro or Beatrice too.
Yeah, that is entirely possible. Or it could just be, I mean...
Oh, yeah, it could be anywhere else that they haven't checked.
Yeah, there's a very hard bottleneck in a gross location somewhere, I think. That is the most we can say.
Yeah, another Triforce in the back of...
Right. And now I think you have to do loose crystals into Petro and Beatrice. Because those are... Sledge has 4 locations accessible.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm
does
trying
each
to think
Petro check count as a separate location?
It
No, it
does. So Petro 10 is not one of them either. Okay, so what Sledge has is Beatrice.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't done
Petro 5.
Petro 5. His tracker might be indicating Petro 10 because of semi. And then the 4th item is the crystals on the Beetle 300, which he cannot actually get to because he doesn't have money.
Right.
So
far, so good.
Yep.
Nobody's won yet.
Yeah, it's... There is a very early bottleneck in the seed that the runners were able to slightly skip, but now are... Oh, David! He wants to death warp.
Oh, foiled.
Yeah, not a huge time loss, but it's funny watching him set the bomb down, getting ready to death warp to the start. I don't even know how much time save that death warp is, but...
Oh, Sledge is going to break her heart.
No.
Just a fake out for the first one. Oh, okay.
So it's Petro. Cool. Just a note, there's probably a faster place to get this beetle or this crystal just over by the cemetery. Not like a huge time loss, but with the beetle. Yeah, I think CubeDavid wants to progress Beatrice, which is why he didn't warp to start. Because he had not done the darling conversation with Peter.
Oh yes, they are doing loose crystals, Miritari. Not too many of them, but...
Yeah, the good news is the seed is not requiring you to do Bamboo Island.
I just discovered the other day that you don't have to hit that headstone before you push it. You can push it and then hit it, and it'll still open the door.
I did not know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, David had not done the second conversation with Beatrice, so he's
Oh.
all right. So it's junk and a
Bottle.
bottle.
So
All
that
right.
means he's got to go get mushroom spores, doesn't he? It's probably the second item. It's either the item from Oriel or the second item from Pero.
Yes. Sledge's
Possibly
crystals is
an
not the
even longer
bottleneck,
chain.
because if it were, it would have been hinted. Also, not in logic yet. They are not in logic because the hook beetles are not in logic. And from where they spawn, you need hook beetle or claw shots to logically raise LMF. So Fledge's crystals is not in logic. Fledge's crystals is also an always hint. So if it is required, one of the two copies has to be located before the item. It could be on. There are two copies of it. It could be on a hint we haven't seen, but we've seen all the hints that are in logic.
Even though it's not logical yet, they do have hook beetle, so they could raise LMF.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do that for Fledge's crystals until you get the hint, because you know there are two copies of it. Or two always hints there are two copies of.
Also, soon to find out, soon to be terribly disappointed.
Yeah, this is... I mean, claw shots could be one of these two items, but we're just up to fetch quest.
Awesome.
Also, Riley asked, there's a fairy there. So there are a lot of random hidden items in various places in the game. If you play the HD randomizer, all of those are checks in that randomizer. That includes a bunch of the bamboo sprouts in Bamboo Island. There are 4 of them that you can bonk into. Yeah, David getting trolled a little by a Keese. Classic. Okay, well, there we go. That is a nasty bottleneck. It
was pretty much just that 10 crystals, which give you the bottle.
Yeah, so the game was expecting you to do 5 loose crystals to get that bottle. Oh, and David unfortunately hit the... one thing worth noting, though, we are going to probably almost certainly see Sledge full clear Skyview here.
That's a nice starting statue for the area.
Yeah. Again, none of this is in, like... Okay, Elden Volcano to G2 is our final path.
Would you trigger the crystal to open Skyview with a bomb?
Probably, but it's not in logic, because it would be kind of a precise bomb throw. But yes, I think you can. Yeah, so
maybe the logical distance activator, or whatever we're calling them, was via the letter?
It could be, yeah.
I have to see if anybody follows that chain.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, I don't think any, like, even getting into Skyview is not in logic right now. So...
Yeah, we're probably never finding it.
Yeah. Neither beetle is in logic. The bomb bag is not your logical access. Yeah, this is... I don't know. We will find the logic eventually, but... Ooh, nice Nice from Sledge.
Spider roll?
Yeah. And yes, you can trigger that crystal from above because bombs have very large radiuses. Radii.
Yeah. Okay, another sword for Sledge.
Sledge, I think you need to raise the water to even, because Two Eyes had something. And if that's not a small key, you actually need to raise both water to get there.
Yeah, but I think he's going for the dig spot first.
He is, but he skipped raising the water in the first room, so you might have to go back to do that. Or he might just be hoping that this is a small key, that Two Eyes is a small key, and so he can... He's probably going to bit warp.
That could work. Okay, is Cube gonna go follow that letter?
Alright, so... Yeah, we may just see him bit warp. I don't know if it's faster or not, but... No, he's just going to grab the chest. I don't know if this is that much slower than dying and doing bit. And yeah, he just forgot. Which happens. It's very easy. Because a lot of the time when you go into these dungeons, you have claw shots. And yeah, David is going to check the item from Colin, or the Pipit's crystals, which I think makes sense, because if this is claw shots, that is going to make clearing Farron a lot faster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And again, like, if you are following logic, you know, even in Volcano's G2, it could be claw shots, it could be the second mitts. It still could be something that locks our beetles, because the logic requires you to have Hook Beetle to get through Fire Sanctuary. There's still a lot. I mean, again, it could be a song for a trial.
Another sword.
Okay. David.
Okay.
David is gonna be surprisingly close to a. He's gonna have Master Sword and 2 of his 3 Triforces and the harp. Very early. Sledge might not go back for that sword for a while.
Right.
Because he has no real reason to go back to Skyloft for a bit.
Not until they get the ballad and can check Thunderhead, unless that was Baron.
I think Thunderhead was Baron.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Oh, alright.
And in terms of
then.
things he has left to do on Skyloft, there is very little. There is Betrow and Beetle Shop. So that could be a sword he abandons for a while.
Right.
I do think Sledge is going to hope that there is a key he can skip on the Three Eyes chest. He's going to check everything else because he knows the Hook Wheel trick to skip that room. There are a couple ways to skip the second.
Is that the one where you
beetle.
run the Hook Beetle into one of these tunnels and with a bomb?
Yes. Which
That one's harder than it looks. I tried it a couple times and wow.
You have to know where to run into the wall. It is there's not like a huge window where you can do it. That is another one that Ray Storm Thunder discovered. He discovered a lot of cool tricks in Skyview before Remlets. All right, we are very close to getting to skip 3 eyes. Nope. Cannot do it.
Now CubeDavid's taking the long way in.
He might have forgotten that he can use bombs to blow up the shortcut. It's easy to forget about that. He is going to skip that key. But does need to do 3 eyes. I wonder if he's going to save Summit, maybe? I would have thought about it, although if it's pinging at this point in the seed, the chances... Yeah, he's just going to... Oh! Here's another bomb trick.
Nice.
Will make it easier to get out of the 3 eyes room. But yeah, it's not faster without scale because swimming without scale is very slow. See if David gets the spider rolls. This spider rolls are precise. It's not a trick that I know, but he gets the first one.
I don't know. Spider roll sounds like something you'd find at the sushi counter.
David, remember to lower. Oh, David. Although David is probably more likely to bit warp. Nope, he remembered. Okay. The other, just whatever we get here, we are still super out of logic. Because we still have no logical way to get into Skyview. I feel like this is going to be the running thing for about the next 15 minutes until we find... It's going to be something like Slingshot on the Geek Wielder's reward. Like vanilla Slingshot.
That would be hilarious.
I don't know. Doesn't that just feel right? That it's going to be a vanilla Slingshot?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Or, in either one of the bombable bits.
Alright, so... That's claw shots. Still out of logic. Very convenient. But this seed has humor.
Yep.
This is a funny seed.
That's entirely possible, number play.
Yeah, I would say, in general in Skyward Sword, when you are in a required dungeon and can clear it, following logic does not matter. When you're looking at, like, overworld regions... yes, that Zelda's Closet is a beetle lock beetle.
Nice.
You can try. Yeah, like, staying in logic can be really important. I would say, though, it really depends on what you're doing and where. If you can clear a required dungeon out of logic, like, fully, you should just do it. Because you're going to have to beat the dungeon anyway. And as long as you don't have to come back a second time, you're not really losing time. Dense overworld regions out of logic, or like, not dense, sparse overworld regions out of logic, maybe you don't want to do as much. So like, Sledge right now can clear a lot of Sansi. I would not go to Sansi until your claw shots are in logic.
Yeah.
Because Sansi is slow. We now have the Gorge starter pack.
Excellent.
They can full clear Gorge whenever they go there.
It's not one of the dead regions, is it?
No, it is not.
Okay.
I mean, it could be unhinted bearing, but... Yeah, really nice vines from Sledge. Vines in this game are huge trolls. Especially these vines in Skyview. Sledge does run any percent, and so the vine tricks are things you do in the any percent category. They are even harder in any percent because we have, for Randomizer, done some things to make vines a little easier. You can change direction while you're swinging, which I don't think you can do in the vanilla game.
Okay, Sledge is fighting Girahim 1.
Yeah, we've got a triple Girahim seed.
So we do. I am so sorry, runners.
I mean, at least they don't have to do Fire Sanctuary and beat Girahim 2 with a practice sword.
That's
which
true.
is a thing that had to be done in a race a couple weeks ago. Last week, I think. You have to do like 60-some hits on him with practice sword.
Ugh.
Yes. They also do not have to fight the imprisoned, as we have the imprisoned fights are disabled.
Happily.
They will probably never return in Randomizer in racing.
That's for the pain seeds that you want to do for entertainment.
Yeah, we can't stop you from choosing violence against yourself.
Ooh. Sledge is skipping the item.
I
on the
think he
pillar.
must have peeked it.
How
I
did
really
peek
hope
that
he
one
did.
From down there, though. Isn't the angle all wrong? Hey, extra wallet.
You can see it, but I mean that extra wallet. I was about to say that extra wallet puts Beetle 600 in logic, but it does not, because we still don't have a logical way to get into Beetle's shop or to get any of this done.
Okay, that was Girahim 2 hint, and I didn't see where.
That was Elden Volcano. We saw
Okay.
David get it earlier.
Ah, okay.
And I think we saw Sledge get it earlier too. I think he just forgot that he looked at it.
Ah. That did make sense.
I don't remember, Harm, if Machi is cleared. I think that might have been changed at some point, but I don't remember the specifics of how that works. I know it used to be true, but the key
Hey, there's a ping and upper bombable.
That is in logic.
Yay! Maybe that's our path item.
Yeah. I just have a weird feeling we're looking at like a vanilla slingshot on Keek Wielder's reward that nobody is ever going to get. Aurora's Courage has...
Courage.
Okay, that is required because that is our logical...
Okay.
That is our logical access to everything else.
Sweet. Is he going to go do it? He has access. He's got the harp. He's got the song. He's in Farron.
That probably means our harp and bomb bag are our two path items in Upper Skyloft. Because that bow is basically unlocking the entire suite.
Okay. That's amusing. Nothing
Highly
horrible.
unlikely we actually see Sledge get that, but still funny, worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so trials, there are 3 dusk relics, random dusk relics that are shuffled in addition to the trial reward. Yeah, and as Ray points out, no sand chip, so not having a bow really doesn't matter other than you are rediscovering where your logic is. Oh, yeah, that bonk I saw it was gonna miss it. This is a much harder version of this trick. I don't know if he has done the setup right. And yeah, once you bonk the beetle once, it's over. because the bonk takes away essentially some of the life, and yeah.
Sledge finding all of the crystal packs on the tree.
Yeah. I think now we can officially say we're fully back in logic.
Or at least we know where logic is.
Yeah, I mean, we're skipping the bow, but we are in logic. Because as Ray said, basically the only checks that are hard locked behind a bow and only a bow are sand chip. So the reason you know that's hinted required is that has to be a bow that locks every bow and every slingshot and every beetle. Yeah, and the claw shots. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I mean, I think we 100% that bow is locking everything else.
Oh, cool.
Funny
Sledge doing the fair and fence hop in order to get early access to the cistern. I do like that fence hop.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing to note about this seed is if you had not done early Zelda's room, it would be a really rough one.
Yep.
Because that beetle was the thing that basically allowed you to bypass a lot of the logic. Like, this would be a seed where if I were racing one of these two runners, I would have been dead on arrival, because I don't know that trick.
Same.
That is second Magma is dead.
Cool.
Now you just hope the Bumble Wall is as well. Was that a meta thing? It was a coincidence because they had vanilla spawn. Early Zelda's room, if you don't have the spawn in Knight Academy, people do not do it very often. Because you have to work to start to get out. Because without claw shots, you were actually locked in. Now, the one thing, again, I'm going to kind of put the pin in is that sword on Ghost and Pippet's crystals, depending on where the last sword is, could be very good for David. Even though right now he is certainly a few minutes behind. That is Skipper's Shack dead.
Awesome. That does leave all of the other chests in Skipper's Retreat that might be still active.
That is true.
If it's Skydive chest, you have to go up to Skipper's Shack anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, well, there's our Ruby tablet.
Nice.
And, okay, Sledge is going to go turn in Colin's letter here. Where was the second sword that Cube has that Sledge... Oh, it was the lightning node. The chest by lightning node.
Yeah.
The
one that's
but
up
Sledge,
on the
I think,
flat.
will get that. Like, I think when Sledge goes to do...
oh, yeah, absolutely.
When he goes
now
back
that
to
he has all
Laniru.
shots. Cube is also fighting Chester here. I'm just impressed at how fast they managed to hit him. That little sword cat trick he does is really obnoxious.
Riley, you are correct. That Elden Path has to be Mitts or something that leads to Mitts. That's... At this point, that's the only thing it could be. Because we otherwise, now in Logic, have everything else you need to clear Fire Sanctuary. Um, of course, even those mitts could kind of be bait depending on the layout of the dungeon. Sledge is like, do I have Gus Bellows?
Cube also somehow divining that there's nothing on the pillar. There's swag strats.
I think you can see it from below if you're careful. That is Bat 50 dead. Oh, Sledge forgot that he needs to check the item in the bird's nest.
He should. Did he ping it?
I don't think he white
should
sword
be able
has
to
it.
by now.
Yeah, he could, but he might just, because he was getting the hint, have decided to just go get it.
Or crystals.
That is 30 crystals. Gonna, again, put a pin in it that he's not going to do more loose crystals, but 40 is 100% in logic now. Because you can get the crystals on Beetle's shop and get 5 more loose. You're going to put it off, but because there's a lot better things to do at this point.
Yeah.
Like full clearing Eldin.
Nice vanilla start at Volcano Entrance.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see this. But I wonder if Sledge is gonna think about just trying to clear Fire Sanctuary without Magma Minutes.
It probably wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, you never know if you might pick him up on the way.
No, settings cannot require 15 loose, but he's only done 5 loose, not 10. He would have to get 10 loose to get that 40. I'm just saying it is in logic.
David also picking up Ferror's Courage.
He's like, wait a second, what was that hit? I think he
had to
might
do a double take
do
on
it
that
right now.
Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, that. Okay, well, there's our
go.
Fire Sanctuary path. This is now going to be costly for CubeDavid. Because we know this is not useful.
Is it faster to knock down the water fruits with the bow than it is with claw shots?
Not really. I mean, the big place where that bow is going to be helpful in Fire Sanctuary is the room with the first Magmanos. But
more crystals. Looks like nothing on the first Magma Turf check, and nothing above Magma Turf.
Yeah, I definitely, if I were Sledge here, I might have just done all Boko Base and done Fire Sanctuary and like just done Boko Base into Fire Sanctuary. I'm guessing he's kind of hoping he can skip it. But yeah, I mean, we need a scale and a whip still. We need scale, we need whip, and we need a Triforce.
Right.
And that upper Skyloft to Koloktos is a junk hint at this point because of what we know about how. Well, we know that hint was Harper Bombag because those both locked that bow, which unlocked the entire seed. So junk hint is maybe the wrong word, but it's
not relevant.
Not especially useful hint at this point. Like, it's not going to give us any direction because so much of the seed is left behind those.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is I totally understand why David went into the trial, because you see required.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Oh, it
I
looks
think the
like it's
bow
on
is
for...
on the reward too.
Oof.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, he
I
peeked
think
the
there's
other two
one more.
relics.
I think there's one more relic you can peek. Maybe.
He did. He looked at it over here.
So he looked at all three. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is just really unfortunate.
Another bottle for Sledge.
That'll be really nice, actually.
Mm.
It'll make getting into Fire Sanctuary a little easier.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as Ray's saying, getting this bow, it is a big time sink. And all for what we know sitting here is not required.
Mm.
It's just really, like, I totally understand why he did this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It takes... We sit here and we have complete information and we can say that is why that's why that's logically required. We know it's not. But in the moment when you're racing, it's really hard.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, kind of
Yep.
credit to Sledge for figuring that out, more so than, like, it being a mistake by David. Because so often when you see the word required... Oh,
Ooh, nice
be careful.
dodge.
Yeah, Sandship is not required. So the reason that bow was required is because that bow locked Beetle's shop, which was our first logical beetle.
He does like to take risks in these trials.
Yeah. He made it.
Yep. Good job, that's high-class runner skill.
Yeah.
Living dangerously.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is this could be a really fast seed depending on where Scale and Whip are.
Mm.
And, like, and that third Triforce, or this could be like a long slog casino for one of those three.
There is wisdom with no useful items. That's at least something to skip.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, totally understand it. Just, it's unfortunate. I unfortunately cannot answer your spirit track and questions, Coleus. Maybe Jaznix.
Okay, so now, CubeDavid is completely in logic.
Yes. Unfortunately, though, we know pretty solid time loss. But what was that hint?
Oh, sorry, I was coughing.
I did
didn't
not
see it.
see that hint that Sledge just got. Yeah, I mean, I think Elden Trial
Din's
dead.
Power also doesn't have any useful items. So Elden is kind of stacked, but
Not with, well, those mitts.
Yeah.
But I think we are going to see Sledge now do Boko Base um, into Fire Sanctuary because he can full clear it. Bow helps a little bit, but with Skyward Strikes, you can do the same thing. You have to be a little careful, but it's not super hard to do with Skyward Strikes.
They already have bombs, so they could use the bomb strat too.
Yeah.
Or instead.
Well, the bomb is for phase 1.
Does it
the
not
bow
work on
is for
two?
phase 2.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, that was Volcano Summit digging spot. Was dead.
Okay.
I wonder if Sledge is going to go out of his way to get the summit hint. He probably won't. The waterfall hint if it's not required. Yeah, this is one minor place where Bow. Yeah, but Slingshot kind of does what you need it to.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably do
a little less
Sledge
risky
with
to
Skip
actually
here.
kill them rather than just stun them, though.
Yeah. So we're going to see Sledge do basically the only bomb boost that exists in Skyward Sword.
This is a fun one.
Yeah. Nice. It's surprising because bombs have a huge radius, so you'd think there'd be a lot of uses for a bomb boost. But there's actually not a lot. Just be careful with your health. Yeah. Boko Base is a really bad place to die.
Ooh. CubeDavid
Well, there's all of our crystals.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I don't know if Sledge knows. I don't know if he knows the whip skip here or feels comfortable with it. I think he was trying to decide. No, he does know it. Very clean.
Amazing.
That is, again, not a trick that I know how to do. I think there's a pretty solid setup, but with one heart, it's scary because if you miss it, you are warping back to the beginning of Boko Base and traversing it all. Yeah, I mean, anything that can cause you to reset in Boko Base gets scary. And Sledge knows there's a fairy there. I did not know there was a fairy there, but
definitely good
he's obviously
information to
worried about
remember.
getting killed by the spumes.
And who can blame him?
Understandably so. You can't really dodge them. And on one heart, you don't necessarily want to take that risk, so...
Yep.
Very fair of him.
Looks like Cube is going to pick up the statues. And possibly some checks near sacred grounds.
Yeah. I mean, this... You always want to get this. You always want to get this statue, and you can do a couple checks here. But then we are going to see David. This is where the Ruby Tablet was. So we're going to see him go to Eldin from here.
And another beetle.
We have still not seen a Fledge's Crystals hint. That is probably not going to cause either runner to get the waterfall hint if they don't have to go get the chest, only because there are 2 copies of every always hint. But the one we also have not seen is the Triforce hint, which could be important. Or could be junk. Ugh.
Okay, so no pings up there. So just fetching water.
Yep.
And Cube is going back to Skyloft. Or possibly just
No, he's
taking a
just
shortcut across it.
he's gonna go check the hint here and the
Hmm.
bird's nest. I think. Again, in his position, I think it makes sense to get this hint.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Sledge did. And that was Sledge's Crystal's dad.
Okay, awesome.
I'm just thinking about hints. I think the only hint we don't have at this point is that Triforce hint. And there's a 2/3 chance that Triforce hint is useless. So, I mean, we'll see both hints in caves, but we're going to have seen every other hint stone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, Sledge. I know I've heard him talk about this, that basically if you're not in go mode, just doing and Thunderhead hint true, which we'll never see. In fact, the Thunder hint potentially we just may never get it because Ballad could be in a barren region.
Hmm.
But I think we've gotten all of the sometimes hints. Maybe.
You think Sledge is wishing he picked up the bow now? Skyward Strike.
Sorry for that yawn. No, he's still not wishing he picked up the bow. The next room he might. But he'll manage without it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize the blue Boko was the only one you had to kill there.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hey, boss key right away.
Yeah, I mean, so I've talked to Sledge about this. Basically, his theory on Fire Sanctuary, and I think it's probably right, is doing backcap first doesn't make sense unless you're in go mode and only need the boss key. They're still missing 3 items that they need for go mode at this point.
Mm-hmm. So there was nothing on the beetle cage.
Yeah, but I think David smartly kind of using that to go check the other. I think we saw Beetle 300 and 600 had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not look at what 600 had, but I assume it was nothing. I was looking at Sledge. It is surprisingly hard to focus on 2 streams at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It gets worse when you have 4 streams up at once.
Oh, man. Okay, so Cube is going back to Lanayru.
I think this makes some sense from him.
He's still got a couple checks to pick up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he can just about full clear it. I mean, so if Sansi has both scale and whip, and like the Triforce, this could be really good for David. Yeah.
Oh, he does have the cave's key and the law shots.
Yeah. So he can do Gorge. He can do a lot of Sansi. It's gonna be funny if Gorko has our ballad here, or not Gorko, Golo.
Is that another Sledge hint?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and Sledge hasn't gotten these hints either.
That was Triforce in Desert, so we've seen that already.
Okay.
That is the thing about the Triforce hint.
I'm sure it would have been useful had they been in logic the entire time.
No. I don't think so. Still.
looks like that's more crystals down there.
Yep. Which he knows he does not need. So scales in Fire Sanctuary, so okay. You definitely cannot just skip front half Fire Sanctuary. That would have been a potential hope for David to kind of get back in this. Like, not, I don't want to say it's over, because there's still a lot of time, but I think it is a fair assessment that David is quite a bit behind at this point.
Okay, and nothing in Gorge.
Yep. Yeah, just crystals, Baron blocker. Yeah, I mean, Sledge definitely has a solid lead here because, I mean, 5 minutes on that trial just I think is rough. Owen misses this trick. There we go.
Yeah, getting that one over the fence seems a little tricky.
It is. Yeah. As Ray's saying, the one advantage David has is the sword, but I think Sledge is going to get that very soon. Because I think once he finishes Fire Sanctuary, he's going to go... He knows that chest ping, so he's going to go to Desert. And now we're just looking for Whip and Triforce.
One of them on Skydive's chest, I'm sure of it.
Well, that can't be Whip. Because that
true.
logically requires Whip to get.
Good point.
Since we do not have a logic mode that requires back in time. Nor would we use it for standard racing.
Happily. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
Now we know the Triforce on Skydive. Yeah, probably is. I mean, David might know. I don't think you do the whip skip RBM. It is a trick, but it's probably not one you want to do.
Is that a long one?
I don't think it's that it's long. It's that doing a commit when you're in Skipper's Retreat is kind of slow. It's just an uncommon trick. And that is Cactus Pillar.
Okay.
Which is still whip locked. Marginally better than Skydive Chest.
Okay, so he's
very
making it easy to come back. And heading to Pirates.
Yeah, grabbing statues is a thing that can be really easy to forget about. And it can be really costly. In rare occasions. I've been playing the HD randomizer with a lot of entrance randomization, and there it is even more costly to not pick up yeah, we see David using the white sword dowsing, but looks like he's not going to be able to get away with it.
Well, he succeeded in the nose.
Yes,
so that at least he doesn't have to check.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does not have the quick beetle yet to do this the faster way. Logic expects you to have the quick beetle to get these, so we're back out of logic again. I don't actually think he needs the money, but
understand that most people fly pretty low here for safety, but I'm really sure that the kill plane is just right between the eyes and the mouth.
Yeah, that's where it starts. It is fairly safe. Well,
Mighty scattershot.
yeah. We knew every projectile was locked behind that first bow, and sure enough, second slingshot is locked by 3 beetles. But yes, we do
Awesome.
have the mighty scattershot, the most important item.
Absolutely.
Sledge.
Oh, got a couple
This
pings
class
in
chase,
here.
there are consistent ways to do it, but you got to be careful. Yeah, triple ping in Pirate Stronghold. I mean, this is going to be the last thing Sledge checks. If Whip and Triforce are here, this could still allow David to skip a lot of Fire Sanctuary, which would be pretty good for him.
There's another bow.
Yeah.
Sledge's side.
A very bow-locked bow.
Hey.
Because it is locked by Nook Beetle. This is genuinely, I think, the first Season 3 seed where I've seen required bow. Maybe only 2 pings.
I think it was only 2 pings.
Yeah, because that first chest I don't think had anything. I mean, if that first chest had something, David is could be in trouble. He'll know because he'll douse and he'll figure it out, but it's unfortunate because you'll have to go back. And it looked like the boss key chest in Fire Sanctuary had something, so Sledge is gonna have to go grab that. So, nope, just some disappointment.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but about the
Yeah,
pings.
he's not gonna reping, so we'll see.
Sledge heading up the tower in Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah. A bunch of pinks here.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of wallets that are going to be bait.
Song of the Hero,
Oh.
also not useful.
So we had one useful item in a trial. And it was that bow.
Awesome.
So we have gotten a whole bunch of nothing here.
Sledge didn't get it, yep.
Like, there was nothing in Sansi. David is probably going to check. If I were David, I would maybe check Patro here, which I think he's going to do. Like, you've got 45 crystals.
Yeah, as well.
The question I have is, will Sledge check Patro before he goes back to Desert? And I think he might. Because he's only checked 5 and 10, so there's 3 things he can check. So maybe. But it's not, for him, it's not the most check-dense thing.
Right.
But now it does feel like the whip is going to be here.
On Patro.
And if it's not, I don't know where else.
It doesn't look like a capital Q, Harmgem.
Oh, the whip could just be in Floria. I think it does look like a capital Q when you put it in. Like there are 3 boss keys that look like actual letters and 3 that people meme about. There's H, there's D,
Uh-huh.
and then there's uppercase Q.
Oh.
Because, we have to come up with a letter for every boss key.
Of course. I mean, obviously.
Yes, there's fallen over cactus. There is the Greek letter phi or phi, however you want to pronounce it.
Whatever is the same as your sword.
Yeah, and then the ancient cistern key, which doesn't look like anything.
Yeah, and then squid.
Well, the squid carving is Greek letter.
Oh, okay.
Greek letter phi.
And Sledge quite neatly taking apart Girahim too.
Yeah, had a little difficulty, but got it. But yeah, I mean, Sledge might actually go to Cistern before he goes back to Desert here.
For a heart medal. Let's see what he gets on the flame.
And I think we know at this point that our whip is almost certainly in Floria. Or it's in Cistern itself.
Ooh, baby rattle. Yeah, that's a possibility, certainly.
That feels likely. It could be on Birdie's crystals. But I think those are the only things we haven't seen at this point. And so I wonder if Sledge is going to go under the philosophy of, like, I'm going to check my dungeon first. Which, again, we know is going to be really useful, because there's a whole lot of nothing other than that sword in the rest of Linear.
Yep. So CubeDavid picking up the Moglimits and heading straight to Boko Base.
Yeah. Just funny thing to note, the only useful thing on Betro was the path bottle on 10. That very hard required bottle for Emerald Tablet, I think it was.
Yeah, Bat 10 to bottle to Emerald Tablet, technically to Favor's Courage to bow, and then to everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, Sledge is actually going to check
gets you the letter in the sword.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Ray that I would have done Floria first. But there's a lot you can do in Cistern, and if the whip's here, you're very happy.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, whip being in Floria.
Yeah, it could be in Floria, it could be in Cistern. I don't know if David's going to get this bomb boost.
Also.
Yeah, I think the bomb has to be closer to the wall to knock you.
No, that location is fine. It's just...
Timing.
Yeah, timing of getting up there.
Yeah, this is it's a hard trick.
So when I was practicing that trick, the bomb flashes like 9 times before it explodes. There we go. There you got it.
And there's our whip. So
okay.
Sledge at this point is a Triforce from Go mode. Well, no, and a sword. We know where the sword is. We also know where the second sword... We know where a sword is not. So, it could just be a sword in Floria. It could be a sword in Cistern. There's a Triforce. Yeah, Triforce sword. Yeah, I mean this feels like it is clearly Sledge's race to lose.
I don't think
Oh,
I'd be
David does
interested to
not
see if
know.
you can get over. I don't think you can actually bomb boost over this thing from this side because the
Yeah, I don't
walls
think you
are at a wrong
can.
angle. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Doesn't know whip skip.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's our Triforce.
Oh, everything was in Cistern then.
Yeah, so just for the record for everyone, the runners agreed to take a 5-minute break at an hour and 30 in. We will probably also take a break since I don't know that there's much for us to talk about while we're waiting for them.
Yeah, probably not.
Sledge having a little trouble with this trick.
Oh, is it a different vine clip? I don't think I've seen anyone do this one before.
Yeah, this is probably the more common vine clip you see. I think he's aiming a little high right now, and yeah, he's just gonna skip it.
Yeah.
So we are about to hit. The runners are going to pause for 5 minutes in a few seconds. We are
Oh, if
also
they
going
remember.
to probably go offline. Um, so they're about to pause any minute now for about 5 minutes.
Hey, they both remembered. Awesome.
Yes. So uh, Featherblade and I will be back in a few minutes. I'm going to mute us, but get a break, get
Discuss
some
amongst
water,
yourselves.
and we'll be back shortly. All right,
Okay.
so we've got about a minute left of the break. We can recap where things are, but basically, Sledge is one sword away from go mode. Has to finish Cistern. CubeDavid, at this point, is quite a bit behind. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what else to say. Kind of the big deciding moment. I mean, Sledge was ahead, but CubeDavid going for that bow in Fair and Trial, I think, is kind of the thing that really just set him way behind. Right? Like, I think that's kind of it. Because CubeDavid still has to beat Fire Sanctuary. He's going to full clear it because he's still missing things.
We also need to be unmuted.
I don't
All right,
know.
we're back.
We should be live.
And CubeDavid is heading for the Fire Dragon. Sledge continues through the Ancient Cistern.
Yeah. And I mean, this is...
I forget, do we call this room the toilet room?
I think this is our toilet room, yeah. It's a better toilet room than the toilet room in some other randomizers. Yeah, I agree with Ray. I think Sledge is just execution has been gaining time as well, but the 5-minute time loss for that trial, I think, just was really costly. And then on top of it, like, CubeDavid went to Lineru and just Lineru had nothing. So yeah, I mean, this could be really close to done depending on when Sledge goes back to Desert. Because we know where his last sword is. But also, his last sword could be in Cistern. Featherblade having some minor issues, so may reconnect and pop back in. Yeah, I mean, Ray is right. The sword could be in Floria.
Chat, tell us if you can hear either one or both of us.
I just
Apparently
heard
we can't hear each other right now.
No,
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it's the browser-based Discord sometimes has some
Yeah,
issues.
I can't hear Golden. Well, here, let me restart.
Yeah. So at this point, is Sledge going back to try and Vine Clip?
Okay, that works.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You can hear me. Awesome.
Perfect. Oh, no, Sledge is doing that. Okay. Sledge decided he doesn't want to have to Cistern Clip to go get the small key room, which is actually very smart of him in this case, because you don't have to Cistern Clip if you lower the statue and you have small keys.
Cistern Clip is so fun.
Yeah, but if you don't have to do it, it's more fun. Yeah, basically. Oh, Sledge is actually just skipping
the entire dungeon.
No, he's just skipping those chests. He might go back and get them after he beats Colossus.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, something down below the statue was pinging. I don't know if it
Yeah,
was the
one of
locked
them
key room
did.
or if it was the big key chest.
Yeah, I mean, Sledge might have just decided he will get them after beating the dungeon because he's only one item from go mode.
That's true.
I mean, the last sword could be on the cactus pillar.
Or it could be another wallet.
That is true. No, neither is a key because I think he has. So, if it's the boss key chest, it is a key, 100%. So that might be why he. Although no, because he opened both small key doors, so he has both small keys, I think. You can have a key though on the boss key chest. You cannot have a key on the Stallmaster chest. Oh, then yeah, maybe it is just a key on the boss key chest after all. That is probably why he lowered the statue. Okay. I was not paying enough attention to how many keys he had. So yeah, you can have a small key on the vanilla boss key chest, so that is why he skipped it. There we go. Getting a little trolled by Coloctos here with the pattern.
Yeah, he's good at that. There's that bomb strat.
Yeah. It will be kind of funny though if the cactus pillar is the final key. Or the final sword. It's possible that all Floria has is a bottle.
And Coloctos is down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're really just kind of in a waiting game where we're wondering when is Sledge gonna go. Where is he gonna get the last sword? So like, when is he going to desert? Like, I think he will because he has to go. He has to go to Lanayru to get
Skylock that he hasn't gotten, isn't there?
No, it's the sword in desert. The one by Lightning Node that David.
Oh, right.
There's a vanilla heart container.
Wallet. More money.
Yep. Yeah, I think because Sledge is going to have to go to desert anyway to get to get to caves and to get to Sandsea, I think he's going to pick up that sword.
Cube picking up the scale.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, nothing else in the rest of Fire Sanctuary, but he's going to do all of it. But yeah, this is a yeah,
kind of amusing.
It would be. I mean, we haven't seen anything in Floria yet. It could just be crystals.
And it could be nothing.
Probably not, because it would have been hinted barren.
How many unhinted barren regions can you have?
The limit does not exist, to quote Mean Girls. But the way that barren hints are generated, regions.
Oh,
that's
your last beetle.
The way barren hints are generated is the more checks that are in a region, the more likely it would be Hinted Baron. So Floria has 8 checks. Mine has 4. Thunderhead has 5. 4. Caves has 2. So it would have been significantly more likely for Floria to be Hinted Baron. The only exception is dungeons. Technically, if you have 3 Baron dungeons, you can only get 2 of them Hinted Baron. There's a limit on that.
Okay.
But yeah, Sledge is probably, I mean, we'll see where he's going here. Yep. So
3 Baron dungeon seed would be kind of bizarre.
It would be, but it can happen. And yeah, this is game over. I mean, David has a lot left to do as well, but
let's go
for Sledge. Go mode for Sledge. Will be, I don't know, 8-ish minutes till he finishes, depending on horde skip and everything else, and like flying back. Maybe a little less, but.
He's the only one still in logic, yes. But he's very behind. I'm not sure why Sledge just typed on his screen, "This is bad." I'm not sure why.
Yeah, Sledge probably thinks he's behind. Like, that is why he said this is bad. Sledge clearly thinks he's behind because he clearly thinks David got that sword. What Sledge doesn't know is... Because he thinks David got that sword and, like, go-moded dungeons. Like I said, like, Sledge has no idea that David went into the Farron trial. He also has no idea that David went and did everything in Lanayru that Sledge was able to skip completely.
Yeah.
This is the thing about racing, is you always feel like you're behind. You always feel like you almost always feel like you're behind, and you almost always feel like you're losing, because you hyper fixate on things that you consider mistakes. Because Sledge, I think, knows CubeDavid does not feel super comfortable. Like, these two runners are very good friends. They know each other. My guess is Sledge knows that CubeDavid is not super comfortable with temple time skip, and so knows David got that sword before. Which, on that, he's correct. So, that is why Sledge feels behind, because I think he knows, oh, David probably got that sword an hour ago. Which he did.
I mean, technically he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice horde skip.
Nice horde skip, yeah.
Very clean. He was practicing that immediately before the race.
Yeah, there are a couple people who do that on the map select ROM. Your average Link does a lot too.
Okay, is CubeDavid going to be able to catch plats faster?
Yes. There
Nice
is
work.
actually a trick to do this somewhat consistently, and it's kind of like what David did, which you have to be patient with plats. I learned this in Remlets. Yeah, very solid horde from Sledge. Didn't take a lot of damage. But yeah, I think he's gonna finish before David even finishes Fire Sanctuary at this point.
That kind of looks like it. See that Sledge doesn't bother to run around to gather the bokoblins up, or better Skyward strikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is... I don't do Skyward Strikes on that phase of Horde. I actually find it's faster to just use regular sword slashes, because one hit
really?
will kill Locos. Yeah.
Okay, phase 2, Girahim 3.
And doing the home screen pause for
Stun lock?
or stun lock. It's very clean.
Interesting.
Very solid phase 2. This is the one and only place that Sledge is going to use his shield is during this fight. He will put it back before Girahim. Dude, having a little trouble with these. Yeah, he might use the shield for phase 1 of Demise. I don't know for sure. He and I have talked about this. He does sometimes do it because it's a little safer. But again, he runs any percent, so does not necessarily have to. But very clean Demise phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
Textbook.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's favorite phase, the taser phase.
Yep. Puts the shield away. Because the shield here.
I don't think I've seen that one, or that set of strikes done. Smacking him over the head like that. Kinda like it. And that's GG's for Sledge.
Yep. And that is a forfeit from CubeDavid. So Sledge takes the best of 3. So I'm going to pull them in for an
Very
interview.
nice. Good job, both of our runners.
GG's, David and Sledge.
GG's.
GG's.
Yeah.
So what were your impressions of that, overall impressions of the seed?
Not happy with how it turned out. Like,
Understandable.
Yeah, I thought about a lot of my decisions like twice, and mostly went with the... Like when I thought about 2 options, I pretty much always picked the second one. Although my gut always said like the first option is pretty much always right. And one of those was, for example, that I went to Sansi instead of going to Elden. That I went and cleared all of Desert. Like my mind was telling me you should just go to Elden, or in that Desert case, go to, I think it was Farron, or get the bottle on the Tro.
I think the major split point between the two of you was that you went into Farron trial, and Sledge didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got first really confused about that bow.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Well, Sledge is going to say something, but
I know why it is required.
What happened? What happened?
so the bow was required because
get
the
the
bow
beetle.
gave you logical access. That was your first logical distance activator
Yeah.
to get
I
into
thought
Beetle's
so.
shop.
Yeah, the
So
logical path for that went Bat 10 to Bottle to Emerald Tablet to Favorer's Courage to the Bow to everything else.
yeah,
Oh, because Hook Beetle was Beetle locked, and I got Beetle on Zelda's Closet at the very start.
Yeah,
and
same.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I was like thinking about it being logic for Upper Elden, but then I got a slingshot right after, so I was just really confused, and I was like, you know what? There's a good chance that I just don't understand and that I can skip it anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm only gonna do it unless I know I have to do it. So that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, and that put you a fair bit ahead.
Yeah, I can see that. I was really scared in the bottleneck part because I saw lightning node chest pinging and I did the break slide Temple of Time skip, and I thought that David would probably do the bit warp because I think he does the bit warp in
Yeah,
those scenarios.
That is exactly what happened.
And I was really scared. I was first scared that it was going to be a wallet because that gold rupee on Beetle 50 really saved me there. So I was like thinking, oh, maybe I should have done the bit warp as like a counterplay. And then later I was really scared it was a sword, because if it was a sword, then he could have go moded AC and not spent like a minute failing the vine clip like I did. So I was really nervous at the end. I thought that David was like ahead of me by a couple minutes or something. But
yeah,
yeah.
we saw your message on stream, and we figured that was why you thought you were behind. Was you knew David got that sword earlier?
Yeah, my heart was definitely beating in the end game. But I looked up a video of that vine clip during my break, and I think I might have been aiming too far high up, maybe? But
Yes,
I don't know.
You were.
Yeah, I think that's the reason that I've been like barely getting it all this time, and I've been getting it on like the upper regions of what's possible, and so my visual cue has been ever so slightly off this entire time. But yeah, everything else I would say went better than yesterday for me. So yeah, it was a scary one, but I'm glad it went well.
Yep.
For sure.
I don't think I had any other questions about the seed or the run. What about you, Golden?
No, I was just gonna say it was funny that the only useful item in any trial was that bow.
Yeah, that's crazy. That almost never happens.
I mean, yesterday we didn't have any trials whatsoever.
Yeah, this is true.
So it's gonna, I guess, talk about the tournament as a whole. David, obviously you've been eliminated with this, but how do you feel about your time playing in the tournament?
I thought I was gonna drop out quite a bit earlier, since I didn't expect to win my first round matchup against Space and my first lower round matchup against Pack. Both runners I really looked up to during my time in Ramblets. And I'm just happy that I got to face a good friend for like the third time in a span of a year across three different tournaments.
Yeah. Me and David have
honestly,
won.
Being eliminated by Sledge is absolutely... I definitely don't mind it.
Oh yeah.
I was really happy that I got so close yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with how it went overall in S3. Definitely my placement in top 8.
Yeah, me and David go back and forth all the time in both games that we do competitively, both in Wind Waker and in Skyward Sword, so getting yet another matchup against him was really cool. Yeah,
To be
he
fair,
is a great friend.
It was the first time in a tournament where you actually beat me.
Yeah, this is true. Beat
In
me
Wind
both times in
Waker
Wind Waker.
tournaments, I always had the upper hand. And Skyward Sword, the tides are turned.
Yeah, I definitely thought that you had a solid chance of winning this one too, honestly. But yeah.
And as for you, Sledge, you are going to go on to face Oni in, I think it's the losers quarterfinals, losers round 4. So any thoughts about that?
I thought about this a little bit in like the time that my stream delay was catching up, and I feel like me versus Oni is going to be a really, really even matchup. I feel like I feel like that could go either way, and I feel like it could very easily go to a game 3. That's
I agree on that take.
Oni is a tough opponent for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be surprised if it went to a game 3. But yeah.
I don't have anything else.
No, neither do I.
I'll
All right,
just say
well-
you enjoyed the Kirby pack. Even though it's
That's
not
great.
quite finished.
Well then with that, please give both of our runners a follow, Sledge and CubeDavid. Thank you to Vibrant Viola and Fastest the One for tracking, and thanks to Featherblade for commentating with me.
Thanks to you too, Golden, for commentating and for restreaming.
We still do have 3 more races this round in losers bracket. They have not been scheduled yet, so keep an eye out. And I think there will be an Ocarina of Time race in about 5 hours. But with that, we're going to go right over to Hollow Logic, who is doing some Ocarina of Time randomizer. Thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.